One day, Paddington was given an invitation card to watch a television quiz show called Sage of Britain. He'd never actually seen the program before, as it usually came on after he'd gone to bed, so he felt very excited when he arrived at the television studios. In fact, he was so excited, he soon got lost, which was how he came to go into the studio through the wrong door, long after the program had started. Shh! Quiet! This way! You're on next! And to his surprise, before he knew what was happening, someone hung an object round his neck and then pushed him towards a lighted area of the studio. Good evening. I'm Lionel Pear, the question master. How do you do? 1, 2, 3, testing. Oh! What did you do that for? You nearly blew my head off. I'm sorry, Mr. Pear. I thought perhaps you couldn't hear very well. I can hear you perfectly well, thank you. I wear this so that the producer can speak to me. Now, I take it you know the rules of the game? I don't think so, Mr. Pear, said Paddington. Well, each contestant has 2 goes, one at his favourite subject, and then there's what we call a free-for-all. 2 bites of the cherry, as it were. Paddington licked his lips. I like cherries, he announced. Yes. Well, now, what is your special interest? Paddington considered the matter for a moment. Marmalade sandwiches, he said at last. Marmalade sandwiches? I don't think we have any questions on those. You don't have any questions on marmalade sandwiches? You could ask me where you get one at this time of night. Well, where can you get one at this time of night? I don't know either, said Paddington. I was hoping you would tell me, Mr. Pear. Lionel Pear glared across at Paddington. Have you anything else to say before we carry on? He asked. May I have my points, please? Said Paddington. Your points? What points? Well, you asked me about my special interest, and I said marmalade sandwiches, so I got that right. That's 10 points. Then you didn't know where I could buy any, so you lose 10. That's another 10 for me. Lionel Pear gazed at Paddington as if in a dream. He took a quick look at the studio clock and decided to plunge into the free-for-all section without further ado. Right, you have 2 minutes to tell everyone at home what changes you would make if you were suddenly put in charge of television. Paddington settled back in his chair. He was very keen on television, and he had decided views on the subject. To start with, he said, I would have more programs on food. I'd have a special series on marmalade and another one on cocoa. A series on cocoa. You can't have a whole series on cocoa. I could, said Paddington. I'd send an expedition to South America to show where it comes from, and I'd have another program all about getting the stains out. And in the winter, I'd have a program about snowballs and another one about how to make snowmen. It's a bit difficult with paws. Then I'd have special programs for bears. Bears? Don't you think that's something of a minority program? Paddington gave the question master a hard stare. Not, he said firmly, if you happen to be another bear. And who would look after all these programs, after all? It was Paddington's turn to look surprised. The children's department, of course, he replied. They always make very good programs. What's that? Huh? Good gracious, really? Bear, you've jammed our switchboard. I've jammed your switchboard, but I haven't been near it. Not you, personally. The viewers. It seems they like your ideas so much. They've all been phoning in. Not only that, but by overwhelming request, they've asked me to name you Sage of Britain. What have you got to say to that? Thank you very much, Mr. Pear, said Paddington. I don't think I've ever been a sage before. Perhaps I could have my cherry now, please?